Put a Ring on It, Season 3, Episode 1. It's back, y'all, and they got 3 brand new couples. And surprise, surprise, Hollywood is back. Remember Hollywood from Season 1? Well, he is back, and he's actually dating one of the ladies on the show, or taking her out, I should say. That was a surprise. They have 3 couples. They have Alfonso and Shay. They've been together 3 years. They have Otis and Charlata. They also been together 3 years. And they have Kenneth and Shorty, and they've been together 3 years. So you have Kenneth and Shorty. He's from Louisiana because he started talking about that Louisiana talking baby and everything, and he was cooking some shrimp and grits. There's one thing about people from Louisiana, the men and the women, they all know how to cook. So he was cooking her some shrimp and grits in the episode. But she tells a story that she really likes him. He's great fun and everything. But he must not make a lot of money, because she was saying she doesn't want to carry the entire financial load. So his funds must be short. He must not be serious enough. And that's what she's worried about, that he's not being aggressive enough or assertive enough, probably in his career or making money. And she says she don't want all that on her shoulders. So she wants him to step up in that area. So as you know, the whole thing is they're supposed to start dating other people. So they got right into it. They went out on their first date this episode. I was surprised they started so fast. So when Shorty was getting ready to go out on her date, next thing you know, Hollywood shows up at the door. If you remember Hollywood's type, I forgot her name, his ex-girlfriend or his ex-girlfriend. Shorty ain't too much like his type to me. Hollywood was this big old workout guy. You know, he was really big into fitness. I always thought he was pretty superficial. Him and his girlfriend, I thought they were both pretty superficial. So when you see Shorty, to me, she doesn't fit the bill of the type of person that Hollywood would even want to go out with, to be honest with you. I think she's cute and she's beautiful and everything, but I don't think she's Hollywood's type. I think if Hollywood saw her on the street, he wouldn't ask her out. So in a lot of ways, this guy, Kenneth, he ought to be glad, because he knows a little bit about Hollywood anyway. And to be honest with you, if I was Shorty, I wouldn't have wanted Hollywood for my first date, because Hollywood probably just here for a few minutes of fame. But anyway, when Hollywood walks through the door, Kenneth's like, oh man, we got the Louisiana connection. They blonde and they fist bumping, slapping hands and everything. She's like, oh, cut all this. And Shorty's like, cut all this out. Let's go on this date. So then when Shorty's on this date, she talking about, yeah, Hollywood is definitely to her type. He's chocolate, he's got muscles, and he's got good teeth. And I'm like, wait a minute, your man ain't none of those things. Her man, Kenneth, first of all, he ain't chocolate, he ain't buffed, and he ain't got bad teeth. So I'm like, here she is talking about Hollywood's her type, and everything that she lists in Hollywood that she likes. Her man ain't none of that. That's a bad sign. So we find out that she's a radio personality. They end up going to one of these pottery places like the Patrick Swayze, when you make the things or whatever. So they end up going there to have a good time. So she started asking him, like, last time I saw you, you was engaged and everything. So Hollywood said he basically learned a lot from his time on Put a Ring on It. He said he figured out he was selfish. Well, shoot, you didn't have to go on Put a Ring on It. I'm sure a lot of people could have told you that, Hollywood, because we all saw that on you on the episodes. But anyway, he said he found out that he was selfish, and he also said to her, you know what, he also discovered you ain't got to stay no place where you're not happy. So as we know, after they got off the show, him and his girl, they ended up breaking up. So the two of them, they had little sexual stuff they were talking about, on the date, and little sexual metaphors. But she was really shy and reserved. I don't think she was really trying to go there. She definitely was not comfortable with it. In the end, Hollywood ended up giving her this cute little necklace to take home as a souvenir. And when she got home, her man was cooking again. I think she was cooking him some hot wings or something. So that man must not make no money, but he'd be up in that kitchen cooking for her. She probably liked that though. But when he found out that Hollywood had bought her a gift, he took that necklace and threw it across the room, talking about, you could throw that in the trash. I don't even know why you brought that home. You don't need to put that on. That was funny. And when she was on the date, he was getting stressed. He was up there drinking his beer, pacing the floor, looking out the window. He was nervous. A lot of these people, I think they thought it was going to be easy, but when it actually shows up at their front door and they got to face it, I think they was a little bit nervous. But she was like, he's a little bit too confident. He was trying to act like he didn't have nothing to worry about. So she started telling him how much she liked the date with Hollywood, how much fun she had. And I guess the more she started talking, the more he started getting a little nervous. He started getting a little pinched about it. We'll see how it works out. They showed the previews, and it looks like Hollywood and her are going to go out again. I don't know if there's any real connection to it. She might want to try to go out with some other people. I hope she don't waste all her little dates on Hollywood, because I think he's just here for the fame, to be honest with you. The other couple is Otis and Charlata. So they tell the story that they met in Miami, and he tells a story that first his buddy was, or his cousin or something, was going to try to talk to her, but When he saw her, he went over there and bum rushed it and took over, and that's how he ended up catching her. She said that he's like a teddy bear. He's real affectionate and everything, but he says that she is real stubborn. So I guess the thing with them is like she's from California, he's from the South, and he wants like a real traditional household or traditional wife. He said he's okay with being the provider, the protector, and all that, but he says he wants to be the leader. He wants her to follow the lead. He wants her to be more submissive, and she ain't really with that. He said he wants her to be a little bit softer and follow him, and she said she wants to have a voice. She wants her opinions to matter. She wants her voice to be heard. So it sounds like she feels like he shrinks her. So I guess their biggest problem is the communication. That's the best. That's mostly what they talked about, that they got some poor communication, and we start to see that later on in the episode. So we find out she's going out on a date and she's got on her little gym outfit. He's like, what you got that on for? He must just want to see you in something tight. And he's like, you know, I'm gonna track you on your phone. I was like, oh my God, he's kind of a little bit controlling. Is this a joke? But he wasn't joking. So anyway, she ended up going out with this guy from Africa, Namibia. He came and picked her up. He's like a soccer coach. So he decided he's gonna take her to a soccer field and they're just gonna kick the ball around the soccer field. We find out that she is a tennis coach. When Meta came and picked her up, Otis was like, oh, he sure is thin. He need to eat some Wheaties. Because, you know, Otis, he's real tall. And shoot, he was looking out the window, watching her leave, talking about he's counting down the time before she comes home. He's starting to give me controlling vibes. He sounded like he kind of really controlling. At first I was like, I didn't understand why she didn't have a problem, you know, just sort of following his lead. But now I see kind of where he's coming from. Girl, I'm starting to see he kind of really controlling a little bit. So she had a good time on her date, and he ended up bringing her some flowers. And when she came home, she brought the flowers home. And Otis was like, you brought these flowers home that he gave you? Girl, he threw them flowers in the trash and shut the trash, talking about, you disrespectful bringing these flowers here. She was like, it's just some flowers. What am I supposed to do with them? He's like, that's disrespectful. I mean, he was over the top. I was like, oh my God, slow your roll. Are we going here already? He was at home cooking some salmon, and he basically told her, no, this salmon ain't for you. If he took you out and giving you flowers, he should have fed you too. I was like, oh my God. And she was like, you are so petty. He's so petty. So he started getting real nasty. He started telling her, you know what? You seem dirty to me. Why don't you go up and take a shower? Oh my God, the words were horrible. And she, you know, in the end, she ended up started crying over it because the words were so sharp. And she was like, you're not going to talk to me this way. But you know what? He kept on talking. He kept drinking his wine and he kept on talking. He was like, you brought it on yourself. You went out and you messed this all up. I was like, oh my God, this man is really upset and saying some really mean things. And he said, these are these kind of situations that make him seem that, you know what, they're not going to make it as a couple. So I don't know. Ooh, and that was how it ended with them. But I don't know. This man, I'm telling you, he is giving me really controlling vibes. I'm starting to get a little concerned for this couple. Then we have the next couple, Alfonso and Shay, and they starting to give me the Darian and Alexa vibes from last year. I think they're going to be out the box crazy. And they've been together for 3 years too. And so their love story started where I guess she must have liked a picture of his. And the next thing you know, they just sort of met on online, IG or something. They started dating after that. And they've been dating 3 years. But the biggest issue with them is that she really hadn't even met his parents. She ain't met his mama. She ain't met none of his family. He basically keep her a whole secret. And she like, family is important. They supposedly engaged and had this big old engagement party. But yet she don't even really have no conversation with the mother at all. So that's their biggest issue. So her day was with this guy named Brian. And when he came to the door, Alfonso was like, oh, he ain't got no swag. She ain't going to like him. And he was calling him Little Old Brian. Little Old Brian is here for you. It was already trying to shade the man. So they end up going to this arts place and doing this art. I guess Brian is artsy. He says he plays the piano. They did this little spray art place. I guess it was kind of cute that afterwards they had a date. They went and ate something. They shared some dessert and they fed each other's dessert and everything like that. I don't know if it was really a big old love connection, but she did like the fact that he came from a really nuclear family. I guess his father is a pastor, and she liked the fact that family was really important to him because, of course, that's something she missing with her guy. So, you know, after all the dates were over, you know, they come back to the place where they meet with Dr. Nicole. And so Shay starts telling a little bit more of the story of what's going on with Alfonso and not meeting the mom. And so they were like, you never really met the mom? And she was like, no. She goes, it happened by happenstance. So supposedly Alfonso has a son, and they was dropping the son off at the mama's house, and he went to the house, but he was in there a long time, like 15 minutes. So Shay decides, well, she gonna get up and go in the house because what's going on? What's taking them so long? So when she walks into the house, the mama says to her, oh, I didn't expect to see you. So it's like, is she a secret or what? But come to find out, the mama and the baby mama are real close. Alfonso says they like best friends. So the mama feels like she doesn't really want to become friends with Shay because it's like betraying the baby mama. So he's stuck in the middle. But you know what? He's going to have to man up. This is horrible for this girl. I feel sorry for Shay. She said one time he lied to her, telling he was going on a business trip. And come to find out, when she looks on social media, he's on a whole family vacation with the mama, the baby mama, the son, and everybody. She's like, what the heck? But he don't get it. She keeps saying it's like she's a secret. And he's like, what's the problem? Everybody knows we engaged. We threw a big old engagement party. And she's like, an engagement party? Yeah, everybody else knows, but the most important people in your life don't know. The most important people in your life are not involved in our engagement. So she ended up giving the ring back to him. And he's sitting over there with this old nervous laugh, laughing or whatever, and she just getting so frustrated. She gets up and walks out the room. This is a complete mess. I think this couple is going to be the most drama couple of everybody. They're going to be like the Alexa and the Darian of the season. But the episode was really good. I'm looking forward to reviewing all those. So I hope you guys tune in next week to my review. Talk to you later. Bye.